Hey guys, I'm FatBuddyCat, and this is Microbikology. To make sure our little Predator 79cc is strong and healthy, we're going to be working some diagnostics with a cam and head transplant from AGK Racing. Alright, this transplant is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to take everything off of one bike and then take everything off the other bike. By everything, I mean the torque converter, the valve cover, and the crankcase cover. I'm going to have to drain the oil from both of these motors. This one's probably due for an oil change. This one is filled with synthetic that has never been used. Maybe I'm going to try to save that oil. We'll see what happens. But I think I got a coffee tin with its name on it. Okay, I have the stage 2 motor on the bench, opened up, ready to go. Over on the Doodlebug, all of my crankcase bolts are loose. I'm ready to take that apart. My rods are free so that there's nothing, just pushing my tappets out and getting in the way when I pull that cam out. There was absolutely nothing visually wrong with these valves from the top side. Something I am a little wary of is this decompression. We'll have to take another look at that. Here's why I love my Gray Goat gasket so much. Guys, they come right off. No sticking to the block, no sticking to the crankcase cover, things like that. They seal up, they do the job. It's kind of a one-time use, throw it away thing. I have one extra one, so we got one shot at this. We'll take this one off, and who knows? If it comes down to it, I'll double up on the other one just to give it a test fire. But I have a feeling this cam should work. Okay, with a closer look at our performance cam, we have a nice light action on our decompression. Okay, now this is something funky, probably because it's a custom cam, but you see that little piece right there, how it's just sticking above the surface of the cam lobe? Okay, it's supposed to, alright? That's your exhaust side. What happens is, until this reaches a certain RPM, this thing stays out past the cam and keeps your valve open, just slightly. The stock cam works off a very similar system. This part right here is a weight. As it spins around, it relieves, well, it would put tension on that spring, right? But it would relieve the decompression of its action. Okay? So again, it's just based on RPM. This one has a heavier spring. It's a heavier setup. Where this one is lighter and simpler, it doesn't need that big weight involved. So we're going to say that the decompression checks out on this cam. And looking at the decompressions from the side, you can see where the mechanical parts were removed, right? And now, see right there what was ground off? You're left with those holes, okay? And that's what we're working with. What that does, it reduces weight. The take from that, well, this cam is going to have less rotational drag on the motor. Could it spin faster? Well, that would still be limited by what it does. Now, if we take a look at the lobe profiles, we start to notice some bigger differences. Okay? This one's got some little bunny slopes. And I'd say we're coming up on a black diamond over here. We're getting pretty steep. Okay? So we have more ramping, which means our valves are going to open further. As far as duration, your guess is as good as mine. I don't want to take things out and measure, but I'm going to say it's close, but maybe at a slightly different point. All right, if you look at it like a wave, okay? Here's the back side of it. There's the crest, and then it comes over, right? Well, look at this one. It climbs, it climbs, it climbs. Okay, there's the crest, and then it drops down, okay? It's more dramatic. So I would say this cam is based on aggressive ramping and less on duration. If we look at a side profile, we can see that these lobes are also shaved. Again, we're into that rotational spin. So if we put this in our motor, it's going to lift our valves more. All right? But as long as we have springs, rods, and tappets, those are all the same, we should be okay. There it is. All lined up. Ready to seal shut. New side cover gasket. Torqued to 96 inches. This one's not going anywhere anytime soon. So, I'm going to finish off by setting my rods back in, setting my rockers, lashing my valves. 0.004. Alright, I completed my oil transfer and added a little bit just to top it off. Alright, let's give this a shot. Carbs on. Choke. Uh-oh. We may have found the culprit. Well, maybe it was the cam after all. Oh boy. Alright guys, and this is with the racing head installed. Alrighty then. Runs better than it did before. Well, it appears we found our culprit. This cam says 216. I'm not even sure what that is. This is supposed to be 224 on the intake and I believe 231 on the exhaust with a 222 duration and a 219 duration. Something might be off a little bit. No matter what, we're going to get this thing out tomorrow and see what it can do. Alright, before I take this thing out, I better talk about it a little bit. I get excited about this stuff and you never know what I'm going to say. With this modified head on here, you're going to notice a few things. I haven't made any adjustments to the carburetor. I left it right where I had it tuned in with my stock head. Alright, so this motor has a stock cam, an ARC flywheel, it has the modified head, it's got 15-pound springs, the mini bike Monza, and modified torque converter. Alright, we're running a 19mm Mikuni style carburetor. Alright, it's a little round slide job. We have that OMB linkage. I love that thing. Guys, AGK did an amazing job. Alright. Besides the idle and leaving the carb where it's at, it improved. It brought the idle down. Okay? The reason I think it did that is because I had this milled, ported, and had a valve job done on it. Okay, this isn't just grind it in. Well, they're ground in, but they regrind the seats to match the valves that are in this head. Okay, the better flow that I'm getting is, I believe, bringing the restriction down, which is in turn allowing me to run a lower idle, alright, which is really sweet because you get better throttle response, right? But not only that, now think about this, if you're starting from a lower point, okay, you get a longer throttle, and that is a big thing. We're getting a lot more air, a lot more fuel. I went over the tuning in a different video. So the acceleration is better, the power is there. We got this cam thing figured out. We'll talk about that more afterwards, but let's take a ride and I'll show you what it's about. Alright, let's cold start this thing. Oh yeah. I'm gonna give it a minute to warm up. For the love of mini bikes, guys, and keeping things small displacement, be sure to check out my friends at AGK Racing, DIY Willy, Skott LeFever, Link's Garage, even Tampa Boys Customs. We're out here doing things with these Predator 79s, trying to bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Keep that mini bike lifestyle alive. And that is what I'd call a noticeable modification. Right from the idle, doing from a standstill to a top speed, or as fast as I could go. The uphill from a standstill, the slow throttle response, mid-range, the top range you really didn't get to see, guys, but it's there, and this head helps. Someone else who helps is AGK Racing. Because, guys, the new cam is already in the mail. I actually think if I had an adjustable flywheel and a few other tricks, we could get this cam to work. We all make simple mistakes from time to time, guys, but it's what we do with them that creates a work in progress. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Now catch you on the next one.